Somebody just packed up and left Seattle, and not just anybody. The founder of Starbucks, Howard Schultz, announced he's moving to Florida just hours after Washington State passed a brand new income tax. So today I want to answer one question. If the guy who built his whole career here is done with it, what does that mean for you as a King County homeowner? So what actually just happened? Let me catch you up quickly because this happened fast. Just this month, the Washington State Legislature passed what they're calling a millionaires tax. Officially, it's a 9.9% tax on household income above $1 million per year. It still needs to be signed by Governor Ferguson and is almost certain to face court challenges, but the vote happened and the reaction was immediate. Howard Schultz, the man behind Starbucks, announced he's leaving Seattle and moving to Miami. Jeff Bezos, by the way, already left years ago. Business leaders across the state are openly questioning whether Washington is still the right place to build and grow wealth. Now, here's where I really want to be straightforward with you, because this is where a lot of people are getting confused. This tax, as it's written now, does not apply to your home sale. Let me say that again clearly. The sale of your home is not included. So if you're watching this thinking, oh no, am I going to owe 9.9% when I sell my house? The answer is no. That is not what this is. But, and this is a big but, just because it doesn't directly hit your home sale doesn't mean it doesn't affect you. In fact, I'd argue it affects every single King County homeowner, and here's how. Think about what happens when high earners leave a place. And I'm not just talking about billionaires. I'm talking about tech executives, business owners, people earning $300,000 to $500,000 a year who are now looking around and wondering what comes next. They pull their money out of local businesses, they sell their homes, the tax base shrinks, and when the tax base shrinks, guess what local governments do to make up the difference? They raise other taxes and property taxes, sales taxes, the stuff that hits everyone, not just millionaires. King County has been trending this direction for a while. High cost of living, high taxes, businesses quietly relocating. This new income tax didn't create the problem, but it's accelerating a conversation that a lot of my clients have already been having. Here's the thing that most news articles aren't telling you. Real estate agents across the state are already seeing homeowners reach out about listing their homes. Not because they have to, but because this feels like a signal, a turning point. I will say in the last 3 years, most of my clients who are selling are moving out of the area. Hey, really quick, if you're finding this useful, please subscribe and hit that bell. I'm Karen Jackson. I'm a realtor with over 22 years of experience right here in King County, and I make these videos for people exactly like you. People who want the honest truth about what's happening in this market, not a sales pitch. Okay, so let's keep going because this next part is the part that actually matters for your decision. So what do you actually do with this information? Here are 3 things I encourage you to think about. Number 1, know your equity position. Home values in King County have appreciated significantly over the last several years. If you've been in your home for 10, 15, 20 years, there's a real number sitting in that property. Do you know what it is? Now is a good time to find out, not because you have to sell, but because you should know what your options are. Your home is one of your biggest investments. You should know what your equity is. Number 2, separate emotion from logic. A lot of my clients stay in King County longer than they planned because it's home. I completely understand that. I'm still here. But if you've been thinking about simplifying, downsizing, or moving somewhere with a lower cost of living, getting out of the gray and the traffic and the property tax bills, don't let that inertia make that decision for you. The market right now is still strong. That may not be true in 2 or 3 years if the migration patterns continue. Number 3, watch what happens next. This tax still needs the governor's signature. It will face legal challenges. It may not survive them, but even if it gets struck down, the fact that it passed tells you something about the direction this state is heading. And that direction matters when you're deciding whether to stay here or to go. So here's my honest take after 22 years in this market. Most of my clients will never pay this specific tax. It's aimed at income over $1 million. That's not the average empty nester or retiree I work with. So no, I'm not here to tell you to panic and sell tomorrow. But here's what I am telling you. When the person who built the most iconic brand in Seattle's history looks around and decides it's time to go, That's worth paying attention to. When businesses start quietly moving their operations out of state, when the people who fund the local economy start making different choices, that affects the feel of the place. It affects what King County looks like in 5 and 10 years. So if you've already been thinking about making a move, if the cost of living, the taxes, the stress has been nagging at you, I'd encourage you not to wait for a perfect sign, because honestly, this could be it. If you want to know what your home is actually worth in today's market, or just want to have a real conversation about whether now makes sense for your situation, reach out. My contact information is in the description below, and I'm always happy to talk. I also have a very cool equity and home valuation tool that is free for you to use. I left that in the description as well and in the comments. And if you want to hear about 7 tips on how to move out of state, watch that next, and I will see you over there.